The Jets may shock everyone with their 7th overall pick, and it's someone that you may not be thinking of, guys. What's going on, Jet fans? I'm your host, Julian Lacosta, and this is the Gang Green Report. If you're tuning in, hit that like button on your way in and subscribe if you're new to stay up on all things on our beloved New York Jets. Let's get into the video. Jets fans, there's a name that you need to get familiar with, and that is Shemar Stewart. The Texas A&M edge rusher is quickly becoming one of the most fascinating prospects in the 2025 NFL Draft. And yes, the New York Jets are keeping close tabs on him. I'm going to break down what's real, what's rumored, and why Stewart might be a perfect fit for the Gang Green. Let's get into this one, guys. Shemar Stewart is a 6'5", 267-pound edge rusher out of Texas A&M, and he blew up the NFL Combine. And ran a 4.59 second 40-yard dash, jumped a ridiculous 40 inches in the vertical, and posted a 10'11" broad jump. Straight up freak athlete. And yet he only had 4.5 career sacks at Texas A&M. So you might be thinking, why is this guy getting first-round buzz? Because the tools, guys, are unreal. ESPN's Field Yates called him the most interesting player in the draft. He dominated at the Senior Bowl and showed flashes of that future All-Pro when allowed to pin his ear back and rush the passer one-on-one. According to Jets insider Rich Cimini, the Jets met with Stewart at his pro day and have stayed in close contact. That really matters, guys, especially with new head coach Aaron Glenn, who just happens to be a Texas A&M legend himself. And Glenn, he's got a type when it comes to this stuff, guys. Back in Detroit, he built a massive edge room with guys like Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, and Marcus Davenport, all big, long, athletic pass rushers. Stewart fits that mold to a T. If you look at the guys in question here, Hutchinson, 6'7", 260 pounds. Pascal, 6'3", 268 pounds. Davenport, 6'6", 264 pounds. Unfortunately, he got hurt this year, so we never really got to see him in that system. But you get the bill here. Stewart adds to that room in the same light. He's 6'5", 267 pounds. So this is a guy that could really fit the mold for what Aaron Glenn is looking for at an edge rusher position with the New York Jets here. PFF recently said Stewart could potentially also be a perennial All-Pro in the right system, and the Jets could be that system. Glenn had a reputation for developing freak edge players and really good defensive players in general, and Stewart has the traits that he's looking for, and I really do think that this could be potentially a good fit. Let's talk scheme fit. One of the biggest issues with the Jets defensively last year, they couldn't stop the run to save their lives. They had 5 defensive linemen with 150-plus run defense snaps, and the best grade among them was Quinnen Williams, and that was just a 57.7 grade. The edge group itself was much, much worse. The only productive player on that line was Will McDonald, having a 10-plus career sack year for him in year 2. But aside from the sacks, didn't really amount to much pressures. And aside from him, you got guys like Michael Clemens, Jermaine Johnson, and then a bunch of undrafted rookies. And they only combined for just 5 tackles for loss on 577 run snaps. That is absolutely atrocious, considering what we have to do, and that's being able to stop the run and attack defenses or offenses at the point of attack. So meanwhile, Stewart himself posted an 88.2 run grade last year, which is elite at the college level. And he did it while playing inside a lot of the times, eating up blocks and setting edges. That's the kind of edge presence that Aaron Glenn needs in this scheme, and somebody that we could really use given the deficits that we have. Now, would taking Stewart at 7 be a bit of a shock? Absolutely. I don't think that I would go as high as 7 given the production level, but the athleticism and the traits pop out at you. This could be somebody that we can grab in a potential trade down scenario and could be a really high ceiling type of guy and build in the trenches here. If Johnson isn't fully healthy, Jermaine that is, and McDonald doesn't take that next step next year as well from a run stopping, being every down edge kind of guy. And, obviously we still have Michael Clemens on this roster, who I don't even understand why he's still on this team. But if we continue to see struggles like this, the Jets need another edge presence and somebody that we can put on this line opposite of Quinnen to really make this line complete. Stewart isn't just insurance. He could become that guy for us. And again, this isn't a reach for somebody of this caliber. This is a guy who dominated the Senior Bowl and has gone up against NFL ready run stoppers on the offensive line. This is a guy who's done it in the SEC, so he has the potential there, and we saw it in the Senior Bowl. With the right coaching, I definitely think that this could be somebody that we could explore in a trade down situation, and he could explode for us. So Jets fans, start learning the name Shemar Stewart, whether it's at number 7 or after a trade down scenario. This is a prospect the team is clearly watching closely, and if Aaron Glenn sees something in this kid, maybe we should too. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Would you be cool with Stewart in the first round? Would you prefer a trade down if we're going to take him, or are you looking elsewhere entirely? Hit that like button on your way in if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new. And as always, guys, go Jets.